Now, at first, I trained 6 days a week for 2 hours at a time, but I quickly realized that not only was I getting mediocre results, but my entire life was being consumed by fitness. And so now I've built the body that I've always wanted, training way less. So, how long do you think I spend in the gym now? Before, it was 6 days a week for 2 hours at a time, so that equates to 12 hours. Do you think I train for 10 hours now? Eight, maybe six? I only train for 4 hours a week, and I'm currently in the best shape of my life doing so. And it's because I follow a minimalist's approach to fitness. Now, let me explain what that is. So, the majority of the people in the fitness industry preach a maximalist approach where they spend as much time in the gym as they need to get the absolute best result that they can get. So, if you could get 95% of the results in a 1 hour workout, but get 100% of the results in a 2 hour workout, the maximalist will train for 2 hours for that extra 5%. But this maximalist approach to fitness can literally ruin your life. So when I first got into fitness, my only goal was to not pant as I went up a flight of stairs and have my clothes fit me better. But before I knew it, I was spending almost all of my free time lifting weights, and I couldn't eat anything without finding out how many calories and protein it had, which is why I've now adopted a minimalist training philosophy. The methods I use allow me to be ripped while spending as little time in the gym as humanly possible. So first, let's talk about minimalist workouts, because how do I spend 1/3 of the time that I used to in the gym training only 2 to 4 times a week and get better results? So the first thing you've got to emphasize is progression. And here's how important that is. So recently I've been so busy that I've only been able to go to the gym two, sometimes even one time per week. But I've still been able to see results because I've made sure to progress on my key exercises. Now keep in mind that I literally have a business and a YouTube channel that is very heavily affected by how I look. So being ripped is pretty high on my list of priorities. So it's not like minimalism is for people who want to half-ass fitness. So here's how you make sure you progress in the gym. The first thing you've got to do is intentionally limit the amount of exercises you're trying to progress on. So I only try to progress on 2 exercises per workouts. And you want to do these exercises in the very beginning of your workout so that you can give them all of your attention and energy. Now, these exercises can be different for everybody depending upon what muscle groups you want to develop the most, but a general rule of thumb is to pick compound exercises. So, simply put, you want to pick exercises that target multiple muscle groups at the same time. An example of this would be the barbell bench press, targeting the shoulders, the chest, and the triceps. Or maybe the underhand lat pull down, targeting the biceps, the back, and the forearms. The goal of every workout should be to either add weight or reps to these exercises. And if you do so, then you'll see yourself pack on muscle even though you're not spending a lot of time in the gym. Now, once you've made sure that you're progressing in the gym, the second thing that you've got to bring into consideration is going to allow you to further reduce your gym time and build a ripped body without obsessing. And that thing is intensity. So as you progress, you've got to make sure that you're still training quote unquote hard. So say you go from bench pressing 135 pounds for 5 reps to bench pressing 145 pounds for 5 reps. Even though on paper it looks like you're progressing, which you are, you could still be making progress a lot faster if you try to leave less reps in the tank. Could you be doing 8 reps instead of 5? Sometimes you really are training hard and you're pushing yourself to the limit, but more often than not, I see people half-assing their sets in the gym, which leads to them getting mediocre results even though they're being consistent. And that's exactly why I have weekly group coaching calls inside of my minimalist fitness program, where I personally go through the workouts of the members in the community and help them improve. If you'd like to join, you can click the first link in the description. Now let's talk about the easiest diet that you can follow to get ripped. First and foremost, make sure you're steering clear of any extreme diets. Some that have been really popular as of late have been the meat-only diet, the ketogenic diet, and on the fucking shittiest sides of the internet, even the vegan diet. See, the problem with these diets is that any results that you get are going to be temporary because these diets are unsustainable. You can't follow them forever. And so you can't do it in the long run. Just don't do it for now. Because what's the point of losing 10 pounds and getting into shape for a month? Nobody gives a shit. Now, what I recommend doing instead is getting a general estimate of your daily calories. And for this, I recommend taking your body weight in pounds and multiplying it by numbers starting from 10 all the way up to 14. And the number you choose depends on how active you are. And now when it comes to protein, instead of being obsessive about how many grams you're getting, I recommend just picking 2 to 3 protein sources and having them for every meal that you eat. Implementing these simple tactics have allowed me to get into the very best shape of my life while being social and not having fitness consume my entire life. Now, if you'd like for me to implement all of these tactics for you personally, you can click the first link in the description. I'll see you in the next one.